If the property line is 20 feet that way, then it's a whole different deal on the side of a hill with those boulders. I've been thinking I have to make a trail across right here where it's a super steep slope. Hey, it's Brock here from Rock Hill Farm, and today we're starting on a massive project that is going to be quite a challenge. Now, I guess technically we started on it a few weeks ago when we had the Bobcat excavator out here, but my target, my biggest project for this year and for this channel is to cut a road all the way across my property. And let me show you where kind of the property line is and where the road's supposed to go. So this 40 acres is split right over there, and the property line runs up the middle of what you see. Now what I want is a road so that I can cross the property back here. And this is what we've got done so far. This was done in about a half a day with a professional operator and a mini excavator. And it was a learning process kind of to find out what a machine like that could accomplish and how quickly. And probably a lot of this road's going to be done with a mini excavator. But today, I'm going to see what I can do with my tractor. Now, a tractor is not the perfect machine for a job like this, but I do think I have the right size tractor. You want kind of the biggest machine you can get in a hydrostat, because it'd be very hard to do this work with a gear drive tractor, a lot of stop and start and inching and kind of working your bucket, trying to work these rocks out. But I think the right machine is going to ultimately be a mini excavator. Let's take a look at what we've got so far. So we worked a patch down there, and then we had a patch that wasn't too bad and we kind of left it. And then we've worked all of this. So we've got this run that is almost up to acceptable level. Now the next question is, what do we do with the rocks we dig out? And I'll show you in a minute why this has to be done. If you just look right here, you might think not much has to be done, but that's not what the property looks like. So all of this rock was cleared to make this section a path. And I'm kind of debating what to do with this rock. A lot of people have told me that if I take it down there and sort all the dirt out of it, that I could sell this rock, and that's a possibility. But for right now, I think I'm just going to pile the rock over here, and that will stop the rain that comes off of the hill from running down and washing out the path. Now, once this trail is done, we'll need to cover it either with another layer of dirt and hope some grass grows, or we'll need to cover it with mulch or crushed limestone. And I have not decided between those options. I want to hear all of your thoughts. Should I leave a bank here to stop rain, or should I get all this rock out of here? Should I cover the trail, or should I leave it dirt and let grass grow across it? But now let's take a look at where this path is going. So from here, we're still, it's rocky, but it's not crazy. Like, you can get across this in a side-by-side or a four-wheeler or a tractor, but it's really rough. Like, the size of this rock that sticks up a foot is quite a bump to go over with a machine. But as you go up, it gets worse and worse. And this is right where I want this trail to go. And as you get up here, you can see why the property is named Rock Hill Farm. It just turns into a sheet of solid rock, and there's more rock than dirt. So you can't remove it all, but you got to work some out to the point where you've got some dirt to pack down and drive across. So roughly right now, I'd say we're at the property line. You can see our house right there, the pond down here, and there's the shop. And the trail that we have, the existing trail, is right over there, and we want to bring it up through this and then through that. So it's not going to be a small task. And some of these rocks are what you see. They're the size of a basketball or beach ball. and some of them are the size of a Volkswagen. And until you start digging on them, you don't know how big these rocks are. There's a lot of big ones though. I started talking about doing this about a year ago. I've had it on my mind for the last year, and I'm ready to get started. So we want to be able to drive a side-by-side or a tractor or a four-wheeler across this and get to the back of the property more easily. Also, I think just for recreational riding, as the grandkids get older, and like I said, we have little ATVs or things for them to ride. And also, my wife likes to take the dogs for long walks to get her exercise in. And right now, she's been walking up and down the driveway, or sometimes she'll walk along the side of the road. Well, I about had someone hit me with a truck because they weren't paying attention the last time I walked on the side of the road. So I'd really like to have a nice trail right here. All right, right now what I need to do is go get the tractor started. I've got a new attachment that I'll put on. It's actually just a box blade, but it's new to me. And we'll get that put on there and then just start poking around up here and see what I can do with that machine. I tried this same thing last year with the compact, with the little John Deere. It just felt like a waste of time. So let's see if this is any better. So I got this box blade in a swap. I traded some other equipment I had laying around to my friend Jake at the tractor yard. And he had 3 or 4 different brands I could pick from, and I went with the Ironcraft. Just because I've had some Ironcraft equipment before, it all seemed good. This is about the right size. It's just slightly wider than the tractor tires, with this being a 6-foot blade or box blade. Model number is 3106. So the first thing I'm going to try to do is take some of these rocks down to the pond, because I might leave some of them up here, but I need more rocks down there for the pond project. And I also want to find out how good of a job I can do getting these rocks off the hill with the tractor. This is about finding out what my process is going to be like on a long run. I need to test it out in a small space and, you know, see if this is the right machine for the job. And I'm sure as I do this, some of you guys are going to tell me I don't know what I'm doing it wrong. Well, that's perfectly fine. My intention here is never to impress you guys with my skills or ability. It's to demonstrate the type of result the average guy gets. And if you could do better, good for you. Also, most things are a lot harder than they look on camera. We're fighting up a hill, and these rocks, some of them are half buried, and it's hard to get a full load of them. The struggle here is if you put too much down pressure, then you lose traction on your front wheels, and you need four-wheel drive to really push into this. But if you come up just a little bit, then your bucket wants to scoot over top of the rocks. So you got to really work a fine line to keep pressure down on the pile and on your tires. So the last time I worked on this project, someone said I should use a grapple to move the rocks. And because I got that suggestion, you're about to see me try it. And I think a long lower bottom jaw style of grapple might work better than the type I have for rocks, but we're going to give it a try. One other piece of news I wanted to tell you guys real quick is about Jake at the tractor yard. You guys have seen him in a lot of my videos. You know, he's got an equipment dealership where he carries several brands of tractors. He sells mowers and side-by-sides and all kinds of other equipment. But he also has 300 acres between him and his dad, or more than that they farm. And they've got tons of old equipment. Old backhoes, old bulldozers, old tractors that the dealership sold 30 years ago. And they've got all this equipment and new property and old property, and he's going to start making the type of videos I make. He's published 2 so far. One, he's building a new driveway out of asphalt millings, and he repaired that with a landscape rake on a Branson tractor. And then the second video came out today was it's a shop tutorial inside the shop at the dealership, and it's showing how to replace a PTO seal. I think it's going to be some valuable content. So I'll put a link in the video description if anyone wants to go over and check out Jake's channel. I'll probably be doing a lot of collaboration videos out there working on his property. I thought I might have trouble breaking this up, but I'm not having trouble. I just flat out cannot get this broke up. There's no way to spread it today, and it's just too cold. I always keep a few dirt piles around, and I thought this would work good to spread up on the hill. I've already taken 1 scoop of this dirt, but I was shocked. It's been in the single digits the last week. I think today we've got a high temperature of 35. Frozen ground is just almost impossible to dig up. I mean, this is a big machine. I don't know how it looks on camera, but when you stand next to it, the tires are, chest high. It's 57 horsepower. It's a good sized machine with 2,800 pounds of lift capacity. I've got some aggressive teeth on the bucket, and I can't break this up. I can't get chunks of it dug out. I definitely think that that entire dirt pile I've got down there is going to spread on this section of the trail. But today, it's really hard packed and it'll be easier to spread if I wait. So what I'm going to work on today is seeing what I can accomplish going up the hill. This is the furthest we've gone so far. And it's not a matter of trying to perfect this 50-foot trail. I've got 1,000 foot to do. So let's see how well the tractor works at that. And I'm putting together my plan for probably having 2 machines here at a time, so we can run a mini excavator like we did last time that is picking rocks out, the tractor taking them down the hill. But I just want to know right now, you know, could I do this with just this machine? I would say that the next 50 foot is going to be by far the easiest. It was pretty rough before we started down there, but from here, from the camera to the tractor, you've got maybe 50 feet that just needs a little bit raked off the top. So let's get to it. So as we look at it there, you could almost just leave this the way it is. But every time there's just like 2 or 3 rocks poking up enough to be a problem, you try to take those out, they create a big hole, and then you kind of end up, like at some point you have to stop digging or you'll have made more of a mess than you started with. So I'm kind of running it up this way, and I've made a big hole here. And then there's more rocks. Rather than trying to dig out these rocks, I'm just going to add dirt on top. So I'm almost done for the day. I'm scouting ahead what the rest of the trail is going to look like. What I've done so far is 150 feet. Now, right now, I'm 150 feet further forward, and it gets a little crazy up here, super steep. Probably not even going to be able to really tell how steep it is, but I mean, this drops off fast right here. And we got like that big tree across it. But I got to find out where the property line is, because say the tractor is over there, so I think the property line might be further up. I've been thinking I have to make a trail across right here where it's a super steep slope, but if the property line is up here, it would be a lot better because the ground flattens out. If you come just right up here, I mean, this almost already has a trail just from where the deer have been going through. Now, the property line is marked at the front and the back, and I've been eyeballing off of the mark at the front of the property line as to say it was here, but I might not be going straight. The tractor's right there. If this is the property line, I can just keep coming this way and then come across here. And this, I mean, nothing even needs done here. Just put a heavy brush cutter on and do a little clearing. Then you get over here. So I'll mark it out. I'll get the drone out and I'll go off the landmarks I've got, figure out where my property line is. But if this is the property line, this is just a little bit of brush cutting. I literally can cut this with the equipment I've got. If the property line is 20 feet that way, then it's a whole different deal on the side of a hill with those boulders. The other thing that's pretty cool is my neighbor is really laid back about this. And if I make a trail and it infringes 20 feet across his side of the property, he's not going to care. Worst case scenario, at some point, if we wanted to put up a fence or something, we might have to move the trail a little bit or clear a little bit, but it's not going to be a big problem. From where we're at, where I want the trail to end is another 100 feet that way. So we've got a 150-foot cut, and I'd say 450 foot to go. So this is probably 600 foot total. Google says I've got 30 minutes left before sunset, and so I'll probably bring a few more loads of dirt, but I want to go ahead and film the end of this video so you can see what it looks like before it gets dark. So here you can see this is step one. When you dislodge all of these big rocks, this is what you're left with, the holes and ruts. And this is where I've smoothed those holes and ruts out, picked out the rocks, and it's pretty much passable. This is plenty wide enough for a side-by-side. We come down to here, and this is really where the mini excavator stopped last time when they were here. And from here up to the camera is what I accomplished today. Got some giant rocks out of here. I don't know how well you could see some of these. This is going to be my walking trail, my side-by-side trail, and my access to the back of the property. Let me know what you guys think I should do when this is done as far as covering the trail. This is where it comes out at the house. Today I learned a little bit about the scope of the project and what's going to work and what isn't. Had a good time. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I appreciate you taking time to watch. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.